Hey, what's up, metal and heavy music fans? It's Flight of Icarus again with MetalTrenches.com, and it's that time again, time to get on Bandcamp and explore your latest requests and recommendations from new, obscure metal bands. Let's jump right into the madness with something that I think is going to blow a few people's minds. I saw a review here. Jesus, just a total hurricane of pure evil. I think that pretty much sums it up. Let's check out some of Reverorum ib Malacht. And the album is called Vad Inte zu Huvud. Huvud. I'm so sorry. Forget my pronunciations. Let's get into it. Just pure avant-garde madness. Like industrialized black metal noise. I don't know what they tagged it with. Dark ambient, industrial, religious and Roman Catholic. Interesting. Black metal. Let's see more of this description here. Hypnotic slow burn and caustic rampage. Self-possessed and potent, meditative and tactical. Let's check out another track here. We got some more chill ambient sections, kind of the calm before the storm. And then back into just violence. I'm going to turn this up a little bit. Very atmospheric. This part's kind of like a labyrinth. Kind of like a soundtrack too. Playing like Silent Hill too. Like I am getting like some vague like Akira Yamaoka vibes. Big fan, by the way. I did an actual like tribute video to him. Love those first 4 Silent Hill games. Just, yeah, utter violence, madness. If you like drone ambient plus just aggressive lo-fi black metal with lots of atmosphere, then you're definitely going to want to check out this band. Hey, sorry to interrupt the video, but if you like to be kept up to date with the best and brightest metal bands and albums from the underground and above, I just wanted to remind you that you should hit that subscribe button down below. Plenty more videos for you to explore on the channel. Alright, and then we've got a return of Oenos? I should have asked you how to pronounce this when you emailed me back. I love these guys. It is wine-infused, blackened post-metal. I have shared their other album before. I might share a couple tracks here because this is just a single. But yeah, they reached out to me. Love my my little mini comment on their last album, which I'll show you in a second. But yeah, it's all like wine-themed black metal and post-metal. I love these kind of quirky projects that have a little twist to the formula. They're very drawn out. Heavy on the post-metal side of things with this one. Quite pretty. I like it. Good, just like head-bobbing, getting lost music. Seems like it would be really cool to hear live. I gotta stop saying that because it makes me sad every time I say that now. Name your price too. By the way, I've been sharing these videos a lot with the like free Bandcamp Facebook group. Because people love them some free music, or better yet, you know, throw them a couple bucks. They deserve it. So yeah, so that's the new track, Nebukadnesar, which that sounds so familiar. I feel like it's the name of like a... Isn't that the... Well, I'm sure I think it's a biblical name, but I think that's the name of the ship on the Matrix. If I'm not remembering incorrectly. But yeah, I might as well share a little bit more from the full album. Noir 2. I said, fuck cheese. According to Oenos, the only thing you should be pairing with wine is metal. And I'd forgotten I'd written that, so when they sent it back to me, it gave me a chuckle to see that again. You know, I'm all about, like, conveying an interest in the music that gets you to want to listen to it in as few words as possible. And I think that right there is, like, the sum of what I strive for in terms of how I write my reviews and how I even share my spoken reviews. I don't want to give you necessarily a big video essay unless that's what comes to me. I just want to say as few things as I can that just grip you and make you want to go out and buy the album. Yeah, really cool. Like a lot of atmosphere, a lot of like kind of regional influences. They're from the UK, but I even hear a lot of like Middle Eastern vibes kind of coming into it. This track's pretty cool. A little more djenty vibe on it. They really do run the gamut. Like as you heard on that single, very different from say this song. Every song has kind of its own flavor, haha, its own palette. So I forget all those wine terms. Maybe that was on purpose. And all the songs on the album are named after the bottle consumed during making Noir 2, by the way. So many reasons to check this out. Get drunk, listen to some crazy metal. Unless, of course, you're under 21, in which case, don't do that, and I did not tell you to do that. That is up to you. All right, we're going to talk about Next Life. This is a electro-violence project out of Oslo, Norway. So, capital of black metal, bringing us something a little bit different here. Hell yeah. That's cool. I think this was one that I actually got a full promo for, so I got to be careful about how much of the tracks that I play, but very cool. Kind of like, has like Genghis Tron vibes a little bit. By the way, stoked to hear the new album from them. But it's instrumental. Very cool. Just kind of electro grind. But lots of melody to it too. It's almost like if you took like video game music and then like 80s horror soundtracks, mashed them together, and then turned up the speed like times 100, you'd get Guru Meditation, which is the name of this album. Very cool. I liked it enough that I'm like, all right, I'm not going to be able to get a full review in for this, but people need to check this out. That part, like, that's pure, like, Nintendo sounds right there. I mean, it is kind of like new Nintendo core vibes, going back to Genghis Tron again. And I try to share as much instrumental music as I can, because I think they tend to get snubbed. And yeah, I tend to kind of prefer bands with vocals, but that doesn't mean that there aren't some truly amazing instrumental metal bands out there. Well, this is cool, kind of a infinite karmic. So I was just going to say meditative, so I think if they're even using some like singing bowls and stuff in here. Yeah, this would be one where if I was not just absolutely swamped with a pile of albums that I need to get through and want to get out to you to check out, then I would be spending a lot more time with this. But suffice it to say, I think it's pretty cool, and you don't want to miss out on it. And it's only $5.44 in US dollars, so another perk there. All right, time for some death metal with Monumental Discharge and Unfathomable Defecation. Kicking off with those breeze. Gotta love it. Denver, Colorado. Just one of the capitals of US metal in general. I was gonna say death metal, but really, you know, you got Primitive Man there, so you got your doom bases covered. You've got Noctambulist, who are working on new material, kind of an ulcerate sounding band. You've got Nightbringer, and dude that has all Nas Alchemeth, who does all those projects, so black metal. Cobalt has been based out of there more recently. This is pretty rad, though. Like I've said before, I'm not always down with just straight up brutal death metal and the slams, but this is pretty sick. And only $7 too. It's just the vocals that tend to get me with this, where I'm not as into, like, I like a little bit more variety. I just don't like the constant I love that vocal, but when it's the whole album, it starts to get a little old for me. I love this cover. Oh my gosh. Just literally unfathomable defecation. Just poop everywhere. This is a scat death metal. That should be... Why is that not a tag down here? You're missing a important opportunity. Yeah, even like I said, with my detraction at... Oh, here we go. We got a little bit of vocal variety here. But they're managing to, with just the intensity of the musicianship, kind of make up for it for me. So again, another album that I wish I just had. My superpower would be giving myself more time, because I just always have more stuff I want to hear, more stuff I want to do, more videos I want to make. But regardless, that's why I started doing this segment. I want you to check these bands out and go out and buy them, and I can live vicariously through you, because you can listen to them in full and share with me, hopefully, hey man, I heard that Monumental Discharge band on your video and I bought it and it is just the sickest fucking album ever. I love those comments. I live for it. That's like my favorite thing about doing this channel. Alright, another single here. This is from If Hope Dies, which is an Indian, kind of, if I recall, metalcore band. Yeah. And I have heard the single. There's a music video for this too. But it was just another situation where I knew I wasn't going to necessarily do a full reaction video. I kind of thought they'd actually get more exposure if I grouped them in with the other bands here. But I really like this single a lot, and they've got a full album on the way, if I'm not incorrect with that, or at least an EP. Yeah, nice, just aggressive metalcore, some gent vibes, a little bit of a technical edge too. And then we've got the nice soaring melodic parts, as are wont for any good metalcore band. Sounds like keys in there too, I think. I've said it before, like lots of amazing metal just all of a sudden seemingly exploding out of India. And if y'all don't mind me saying, like, if I didn't know you were from India, I wouldn't have guessed that. Like, this just totally sounds like a bunch of dudes who probably hang out with the guys from like Under Oath or Architects. Like, I almost wish I could play the whole song, but definitely follow these guys, because again, there'll be more music coming. And pick up the song, because it's only $1, and it's honestly like one of the better metalcore songs I've heard this year, and it's been a really strong year for metalcore. Alright, then we've got Germany's Aeons CONFER with Zero Elysium. Very cool, like, symphonic death metal, technical death metal, blackened. There's some industrial vibes on here too. An epic science fiction based album, so pluses there. I'm a big nerd for sci-fi, and I love sci-fi concept albums, especially in like the death and black metal genres. Got some more progressive elements here too. Another album that I just wish I had more time for, but I just don't. And I want you all to check them out, because honestly, listen to that. I love that little those little symphonic flourishes are perfect. Like, I'm really hoping I can circle back around to these guys. And right now, even just listening to it again, these little snippets, I'm kind of kicking myself that I have not targeted this for a full review. But you know, it came out last year too, which doesn't mean I don't want to share it. Like, I'll share anything from any year. I've had requests from, like, on this series where it was like a 5 or even like 10-year-old album that somebody was like, dude, everybody slept on it, you should check it out. But I feel like this is kind of the best segment for me to do that, especially because unfortunately, like, the YouTube algorithm is shit when it comes to pushing out stuff that's old. It's constantly looking for what's new, what's fresh, what's trending. But yeah, you hear it for yourself. This just sounds fucking rad. And if you're into symphonic death metal, progressive death metal, all that jazz, then check these guys out. Alright, and then last, let's end this with Dreamwell. One last single we got here from Providence, Rhode Island, Painting Myself a Darker Day. Emo post-scrams from basically Providence, Rhode Island, so probably somewhere on the fringes, some unknown town that people wouldn't know, but people know Providence, so there you go. Skip forward a little bit here, hell yeah. I like this cover a lot. It's got a really nice kind of color palette. It's got a nice color palette and aesthetic to it. It's very eye-catching. I love those vocals. There's a band, I haven't listened to in a long time. I was surprised that they're still around, but they're called As Cities Burn. These vocals kind of remind me a little bit of it. That just like mournful, sorrowful, kind of like hopeless sounding quality to them. Also a little bit of Under Oath. And Touche Amore comes to mind as well. I can't remember the context of how this was sent to me off the top of my head and whether there's a full album coming anytime soon, but I'm loving this. This is gorgeous. And it's only $1 for the track. If it's on Spotify, I may have to add it to my 2020 playlist too, because this is really quite stunning. Dreamwell fits the sound of their music too. I think that's like the perfect name. Great stuff. Again, wish I could play the whole thing for you, but I want to keep these episodes as concise as possible, and I know I've had a few already that were like over 20 minutes. I'm going to try to avoid that because I think people start to drop off at that point and then they end up missing out, and the later bands don't get as much exposure. So I'm going to end it there. Let me know down in the comments which band and album was your favorite, and also especially if you again went out and bought one. And again, plenty of reasons to kind of stick around after this video, because I've got a whole series of these. I think this is up to like episode 10 or something. I'm kind of losing count. But I also have tier lists, full album reviews and roundups, interviews with bands on the podcast, so many different things to check out. So lots of reasons to subscribe. Don't go anywhere. Also in the description, you can find links to all of our social media, the email newsletter, and our Patreon and Subscribe Star if you want to make that extra jump to becoming a full-on supporter. But that'll do it for this one. Flight of Icarus signing off. I will see you in the trenches.